Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a nice gentle routine working a little bit around your hips and for your abdominals. It's going to be suitable for sort of beginners, improvers and possibly a little bit for intermediate. Might be a wee bit too easy for intermediate. So just a gentle warm up to start with your feet hip width distance, knees soft and stand tall. Gauge your tummy, a couple of deep breaths just to remind you to breathe into the ribs. So nice deep breaths. Okay, gently turning the head from side to side, nice and slowly, just to loosen up the neck and shoulders, but being aware, making you aware of whether there's any tension in the neck. Drop your chin to the chest and slowly back up. Okay, down again and back up. Moving into the shoulders, rolling the shoulders, both together. And changing direction. Okay, adding the arms, breathing in and out. So nice big circles, moving as you breathe. And changing direction, breathing in and out. Okay, one more. And to side bends. So arm out to the side, big stretch, reaching up and over. One more time. And repeat to the other side. So again, big stretch, up and over. Number 2. Trying to move from the waist, keep your hips still, keep the weight even through both feet. Okay, arms out to the side, knees soft, little gentle twist. Again, just trying to move from the waist, keep the hips as still as possible. If there's a slight little movement there though, don't worry. If you're a little bit tight in the lower back, you want to let the pelvis move just a little to get the stretch into those lower back muscles. One more. And back to the center. Okay, hands to the hips, transfer the weight to one foot. Lengthening up through your spine, lifting one knee, extend the leg out, pull up your toes, bend your knee, replace to the floor, and change feet. So alternating, if you're a little bit wobbly, have something to hang on to. You might want to hang on to the wall, you might want to have a chair to hold, and it doesn't have to be massive. Whoops, is she wobbling a little bit? Use your tummy, keep your chest lifted, you stabilize straight away once you engage those abdominal muscles. Okay, last 2. And last one. Ooh, a little bit clunky in that left hip today. Okay, now changing feet, lift the knee, turn it out, bring it back and replace and change. So now again, if you're wobbly, keep the toe on the floor. This is all about the hip, not the balance. So if you are wobbly, just put that toe down and try and keep your hips still. So you're moving the leg within the hip joint. So it's quite a natural movement, because this is the movement that you would do if you're going to turn sideways. So it's good to practice it to strengthen the muscles and to help with that rotation, especially if you have a hip problem. Good, one more. And relax. Okay, down to the feet, we're just going to do a few heel raises. So hands on the hips will help you with your balance. Breathe in, lift your heels, and breathe out, lower. Nice and slowly. Aim the top of the head towards the ceiling. Now I know you can't see my feet, but just come up onto the toes. Doesn't have to be high, so you're not a ballerina. You're not trying to come right up onto the demi point, which is the balls of the feet. But if you can manage that, go for it. Now we're just going to speed that up. So we're going to lift and then bounce up and down. as quickly as you can without actually hitting the floor with your heels, because if your heels are tender, you don't want to make it worse. But it will start to burn quite quickly through your calves, up the backs of the legs. Then come back up onto the toes and hold. Take the arms above your head and hold and breathe. Nice deep breaths. And then relax it down. Good. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Oh, I can feel that right at the backs of my thighs. So into roll downs. So standing at the end of your mat, feet parallel. So tummy in, take a breath in. As you breathe out, drop your chin to the chest and slowly bend. Take your time. Letting your head hang, let your arms just hang. Breathe in at the bottom, long breath out to draw yourself slowly back up to standing. And repeat down again, chin to the chest, slowly bend. Breathing in at the bottom and a long breath out to draw yourself back up. Slowly use your tummy, not your back. And repeat. So think of it like a nice flowing movement. Letting the weight of the head and the arms take you down. Keeping the knees slightly bent. And then a long breath out to come back up. Okay, last time. This time add a hamstring stretch. So find the point that's comfortable to hold. Stay there, straighten the legs, and then just let your body go. So just relaxing, a bit like a rag doll. Let the head hang, let your arms relax and hang. So I'm just going to move the camera just so that we can go down onto the floor. And when you're ready, just bend your knees, come down onto your mat and into tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. So checking that you are neutral. Breathe in as you breathe out. Slide, lift, opposite arm and leg. Nice and slowly. Keeping the body as still as possible. Now as you lift the arm, just watch this doesn't happen. Try and keep your shoulders level and your hips level. Tedious little exercise, this one. And I know we do it quite a lot. It's actually such a good exercise for your back. Helps strengthen the little muscles each side of your spine, particularly in your lower back area. If you take the leg too high though, it becomes a glute exercise, which is your buttocks. So keep your legs quite low. Now see if you can hold and not wobble. Breathe in and out 2 or 3 times, concentrating on the balance. So using your core, pull in gently, and then replace. Other side. So extend opposite arm and leg. Hold. Nice deep breaths. And back down. Other side. We're only going to do it a couple of times. Really concentrate on the balance. Check you're not using your foot. Use your tummy. Weight even through hand and knee. And last time. And down. Well done. Relax. Sit back on the heels. Open the knees and relax into child pose. More important to get the hips down than the head on the floor, so you don't want to be in that position. Try and press your pelvis to the heels, then bring your chest down so you're getting that stretch into your lower back. And breathe. Okay, let's get you over onto your back. So just crawl forward and onto your back. So rolling over nice and gently, get yourself into neutral. So hands onto the hips, shoulders back and down, have a feel, make sure that you are in that neutral position, feet hip width distance apart. We're going to start with some little knee drops. We're going to do a little sequence using knee drops. So keeping the right leg as still as possible, slowly let your left leg float out to the side and then draw it back up. It doesn't have to touch the floor. Breathe out as it goes out. Breathe in, breathe out, draw it back up. So using those inner thighs, pelvic floor and your core. So number 3. And back up. And 4. We're going to do this in sets of 5. And back. And number 5. And back. Let's repeat to the other side. So you won't see it quite as well. Keep the left leg still, just let the right leg flop out. Letting your foot roll naturally so that you're getting that movement from the hips. It's very similar to what you did in your warm-up, but working the muscles around your hip joint. You're not trying to get the knee onto the floor, just taking it wide, keeping this leg still, but using the inner thighs, pelvic floor to pull the knee back to the center. And one more time for that leg. Watch this knee's not wanting to go that way. So tempting to let that happen. Try not to. Now we're going to go back to the left leg. We're going to then take it into a one leg circle. So keeping the right leg still. Breathe out, take the left leg down. Breathe in, breathe out, slowly bring it back. Concentrating on what the right leg is doing. Don't let it move. Hands here so you can feel that these hip bones are not rolling. Your pelvis is not rocking from side to side. So the movement is literally the leg within your hip joint. And 4. And 5. Okay, now same leg, just lift the leg into tabletop. So you bring the knee above the hip, shin parallel to the ceiling, and take it into a one leg circle. So rotating the leg within the hip. Again, just watch the pelvis doesn't move. So find those hip bones. Circle the leg. Keep it small and controlled. Watch this leg's not wanting to drop. I was just aware my right leg was starting to go out to the side. And change direction. Nice and slowly. Perfect. And replace the foot down. You might want to just stretch it out. Quite a lot of work into the hip there. And then bring it back. Let's do the same with the other leg. So I'm going to start with the knee drop first. So keep your left leg still. Let the right leg float out. And then bring it back. So breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring it back up. And 3. Being aware of what's happening in here, I can feel this left hip wanting to push up as the right leg goes out. My right hip is the tighter one, so I'm not going to let it go quite so far this time because I can feel that little connection going on in there. And then bring it back. Now float the right leg up and do your one leg circle. Small circles. Again, keeping the pelvis still. Use your tummy muscles. Pull in. Use your pelvic floor. Don't make the circle too big, because if the circle's too big, you will roll from side to side. And change direction. So roughly 5 or 6 circles. It's surprisingly tough, this one. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Keep that neutral position, so keeping the little hollow in your lumbar spine area. And then bring the foot back down. Excellent. Stretch your legs out. Okay, bring them back. Now, I'm going to go straight into scissors. I'm going to take it straight into scissors with both legs. You can just do one leg if you prefer. So from that position, really use your core. Lift your legs into tabletop. Finding the right angle at the hips, right angle at the knees. And then alternate. So one foot goes down, bring it back, and change. Pressing the shoulders back and down into the mat. breathe out, and breathe in. So breathing out on the hard bit, which is as the foot goes down. Be aware of whether your knee is bending, so you don't want this movement. You want it to come from the hip. So it's creating that arc or rainbow shape. Press the ribs down so you're working these upper abdominals. Keep going if you can. Okay, last two. Good try. And then rest it down. Well done. Stretch out, full body stretch. Pull up the toes, push your back into the floor as you stretch. Excellent. Okay, bending the knees so the feet are flat again. We're going to do arms. I'm just going to push this little table out of the way. And take both arms up in front. So just nice little gentle arm circles. So floating the arms above your head. Keep your shoulders down. Circle them around as close to the floor as you can. And back up and over. Take your time. You can do this with little weights if you want to. It's either hand weights, weighted balls, a couple of cans of baked beans, a couple of bags of sugar, whatever weight you want to work with or what you can hold that's comfortable. But to be honest, you do have enough weight in your arms anyway. So if you haven't got any weights, don't worry. The important bit is that you concentrate on keeping your body still. Don't let the spine arch. And change direction. And move the arms slowly. So keeping the shoulder blades flat on the floor. Just working the arms within the shoulders. Keep your ribs down and the body still. We did quite a bit of work with the legs there, so just watch this isn't happening. Keep your legs parallel even though they're bent. Don't let your knees come together. So just holding the legs still and keeping neutral. Chin lightly tucked in. Move the arms nice and slowly. Again, probably between 5 and 6 in each direction. Okay, coming back up. Now we're going to just pop your hands behind your head. We're going to do some little abdominal curls. So use the hands to support your head. Don't pull at your head. You should be able to see the elbows out the corners of your eyes. Now what I want you to focus on is keeping this bit still. So you don't squeeze your buttocks, you just use your tummy. You don't let your lower back press into the mat. So support the head, breathe out, curl up, look towards your knees, and breathe in, release. Now with an abdominal curl, you only really need to lift to the tips of the shoulder blades are connecting with the mat so that you're getting these bits to work, your top of your rectus abdominis muscles. They go from the pubic bone right up the front towards your breastbone. They're the ones that form your six-pack. Nice and slowly. So just lift the tips of the shoulder blades, chin tucked in. So looking towards your knees. Breathe out. And breathe in. So as I lift, you can see my pelvis is not tilting. I'm making these muscles do the work. So you're initiating it all from those abs. Now we're going to add a leg. So lift and hold. Use the hands to support the head and lift one foot to extend your leg. Bend your knee and replace. And change. So lift, hold, other leg. And lower. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Trying to get the breath into the ribs. Keep going. Don't let the tummy go up and down. So remember, it's using that lateral thoracic breathing. So the rib cage is doing all the work. For the breath, your tummy is controlling and keeping you still. Now you can continue with that, or you can make it a little bit harder. So this is quite tough. Lift and hold, then try and lift both legs. Bend your knees, feet down, head down. These are really good preparation exercises if you're wanting to try and do some more of the improver and intermediate level exercises, because there's a lot of those involved where you're holding both legs in the air for quite a period of time. So this is a good way to try and strengthen your abs to be able to achieve those exercises. Really starting to feel those upper abs working now with the legs. If you wanted to, you could add a little bit more, which is to lift the feet, add a little lower and a lift, and then come back down. That's challenging. So lift, legs, lower, lift, bend, and replace. You could take them lower to the floor, but don't touch the floor. Watch, it doesn't make your spine arch. So if you wanted to, you could come to about there, lift, bend, and replace. But just watch this doesn't lift up. You don't want that sensation if you're going to lower the legs. Okay, let's do a couple more. So lower, tiny little movements, all it needs to be. Last one. And then rest. Well done. Knees to chest stretch. You could lift the head and shoulders if it feels comfortable. And then come down. Excellent. Let's roll onto your tummy and bend your back the other way after all that. So hands down by your side, squeeze your legs together, chin tucked in. Breathe in as you breathe out. Just lift, hold, breathe in, breathe out lower. Keep squeezing into the glutes, inner thighs, lift. Again, nice wide breaths into the ribs. Breathe in and out. Okay, two more. Last one. Okay, rest. Pop the hands underneath your forehead. We're going to stay in this position. Take your legs a bit wider. We're going to do some prone leg lifts and then some single leg kicks. So keep the head down. You can turn the head sideways if it's comfortable. And just pressing the hips into the mat. So squeeze your bum, lift one leg and lower. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. So alternate left and right. Keeping your pelvis still, so being aware of whether it's lifting, hitching, or rolling. Squeeze the glutes. Now into single leg kick, keep the thighs down, bend one knee, do two little pulses, and take it down. Excellent. Again, keep the hips still, press your hips down into the mat, push your pubic bone into the mat. And two little pulses. But focus on the hips, keep the upper body still. Excellent. Last one. And rest. Good. You need to release your back, so bending it back the other way, back up onto hands and knees, and into cat stretch. So big stretch. Oh, that feels so nice. And then take it the other way. And look up. So always moving carefully from one position to the other. And then relax. Come into sitting. So, oops, losing the top of my head. Just turn that up a wee bit. Okay, so sitting cross-legged or legs out in front with the feet slightly wide. Your choice. If it's more comfortable, you can bend your knees, pop the soles of the feet together. Make sure you're right up onto your sit bones and hold your arms out and gently twist. Breathe out to twist. Breathe in to straighten. letting the head go with it. So imagine your spine is like a pole, you're just turning the body around the pole. Weight going down between your sitting bones. Okay, last two. Now this is an optional extra, you don't have to do this, you could just do a couple more spine twists if you want to. We're going to take it into saw. So take your feet wide, flex your feet, and then twist, reach opposite hand to foot, back up and center. Don't worry if you can't reach your foot. What I don't want you to do is bend your knees. So I don't want you to do that to find the foot. Try and feel the stretch right at the backs of the legs as you twist and reach. So when you get into there, that's okay. Don't let the sit bones lift. You will get there eventually. I find this side is much tighter than the other. You can go all the way down with this one. A little bit tight in the right side, always. But can't go quite so far with this one. The more you do, the easier it gets. So stretch. And up. Stretch. And up, last one, and up. Excellent. Okay, bringing your feet to sit cross-legged, and a nice little mermaid stretch to release. And repeat to the other side. And relax. Excellent. Okay, legs out in front. So back still in a sitting position. We're going to do some half roll-ups and then some full roll-ups if you think you can. Entirely up to you. Arms out in front, sit up tall, tilt, roll back to that halfway point. Hold, breathe in, breathe out, round forward, and sit up straight. And again, tilt, halfway back, breathe out, sit up straight. You want to make it harder, legs out in front. Try not to rely on your thighs. Try and use your tummy muscles. Again, halfway. And if you want to do a full one, this is entirely up to you. Take yourself all the way down. Arms over your head. Float the arms up, tuck in the chin, push your ribs to your hips. Back into the floor as you round up nice and slowly and go forward into spine stretch. Back up to sitting. Which one you do is entirely up to you. You could just stick with the first option. You don't have to try this. If you try and think, oh no, I can't do that, don't worry, go back to the previous option. And into stretch. Back up to sitting, one more, I promise. It's a nice stretch you get in between now. Arms up, tuck in the chin. Breathe out, round out. Oh, that was a hard one that time. And into stretch. And back up to sitting. Excellent. Okay, let's bend you back the other way, of course. So back down you go. And we'll do some bridges, so feet a little bit closer to your hips, hands down by your side. Keep the legs parallel, so watch your knees are not coming together, and press firmly through both feet. Tilt the pelvis, press your back into the mat, squeeze your glutes and lift up. So again, you're bending your body back in the opposite direction. Press your hips to the ceiling using your glutes. Take your arms over your head. Make sure you tuck your chin in without compressing into your throat, and breathe out, roll down slowly. Cross your lower back into the mat, rock back to neutral, and then bring your arms back. And into the next one. Sit the arms up. And down you go. Lovely. Let's do two more. nice and slowly down, trying to get each vertebrae to connect with your mat, especially the lower back, and then rock your pelvis back to that neutral spine position and bring your hands back at the end. Fab. One more time. Arms up and over, and roll down slowly. And arms back at the end. Excellent. Hip flexor stretch, one knee in, slide the other leg out, and hold. And change legs carefully, especially if your back's a little bit nippy. And then relax. Excellent. If you have a band, feel free to do your stretches using your band, following one of the other videos, or you could just do an inner thigh stretch here, pop the soles of the feet together, let your knees drop. After those knee drops we did at the beginning, this will feel really nice. And relax into it. Bringing your knees back together, outer thigh stretch, put your right foot onto your left knee and either just push the knee away with your hand or reach both hands behind the leg and gently pull, head down. Make sure you're pulling that left knee towards your left shoulder, don't let the body twist. And change legs. So same thing, either just push the knee away with your hand or both hands behind the leg and gently pull. And then bring your feet back down to the floor. Oh, excuse me. Okay, take your time, come up to sitting, do your few minutes of relaxation. If you feel you need to, enjoy the relaxation. It's very important. Try and get that in if you can. Hope you've enjoyed it. It wasn't a little bit more challenging perhaps for some of you. Take it slow. Slow and intense is good, but be careful. Take care everyone. Remember, please do subscribe to our channel. You can click on the button below. Hope you're all doing well and we'll see you soon. Bye now.